is the sixth Clubhouse Conversation interview where I, Patrick Ellington, the host and producer, will be interviewing Black people in professional baseball in America, whether that be players, coaches, managers, scouts, um, writers, etc. People in front offices, just to kind of paint a comprehensive picture of us in baseball and to tell our stories. Today I have with me Trey Harris, outfielder in the Atlanta Braves organization. With the University of Missouri. Played in the SEC there. Was one that tore it up his last 2 years. And I don't. Did you graduate?
No, I still got like 3, 4 classes left, so I'm working
Okay.
on it.
All right. Cool. But yeah. Basically a graduate. One semester left. But um, Trey, you're. I'm happy to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. It's all love.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna get started with what's Trey Harris' story and kind of how did everything start for you with baseball?
Um, start. I would say my dad and I used to play catch in the living room. He used to sit in the chair, and every time I overthrew him, I'd have to go get the ball. He said he got tired of throwing because I wanted to throw every day, all the time. So then he just signed me up for baseball. And I played baseball and football until I was a sophomore in high school. Then I didn't make the East Cobb travel team and kind of lit a new fire into me. I stopped playing football and started focusing more on baseball. And then um, ended up doing my thing. I found something clicked when I turned around 16. I started really hitting and really doing my thing. And then I got recruited to Mizzou. Then I did the Mizzou thing for 4 years. It was fun, a lot of ups and downs. And then got picked up by the Braves.
Okay.
I
So
wasn't for, yeah.
so where'd you grow up at? What city? Like in South Powder Springs. I'm not sure where that's at, but
My first 10 years of life, I lived in on the south side of town in Fayetteville, Georgia. And then when I turned around 11, we moved up to the Cobb County area. Schools were a little better up there, and sports were a little better at the time. And my dad was tired of driving an hour to work. So I lived in Powder Springs. It's a big sports area up there in Cobb County. So it was the right place to be.
cool. I know a little bit about Cobb Company. I went to school. I went to college in Atlanta. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know a little bit about it.
yeah, I've been up there before. But were you kind of you played on travel ball circuit, and and Georgia has a pretty good travel ball circuit. What was that experience like for you?
Uh, it was one where like it was cool the whole time, just to play baseball every day in the summer, get to go to different places and play every day. My first real travel ball, I would say, was when I was like 15, played for the East Cobb Longhorns. That was real travel ball. We played in all the big tournaments. We competed in them. We just weren't a part of the tournament. We weren't in the silver bracket. We were with the big boys. And then when I turned 16 and I played for the Astros, that's when I realized there's more levels to this. There's some dudes out there playing baseball, and it was exciting and enlightening that I was able to compete against them.
Okay, so let's go to the process of you getting scouted for college, and what was that like your first 2 years in SEC? Because it seemed like you struggled a little bit to you're getting playing time, but you had some growth to do, and you seem to do it based on what you did in your last 2 years there. But just go over the process of you getting scouted and you making that commitment, and everything like that.
So pretty much what happened, one of my coaches said, "Hey, Trey, like nobody really knows about this school, but they're going to the SEC. They're looking for good athletes. You should reach out to Missouri." Well, I didn't reach out to Missouri. Missouri happened to reach out to me about a week later, and we kind of got the ball rolling. They invited me out to this thing called a junior day, and I came out to the junior day, and I loved it. I was like, I'm ready to commit. If they offer me, I'll probably go here. This is where I want to go. And they ended up saying I wasn't good enough at the time. They said I had to come back in January and prove that I could play second base for them every day, to prove that I could, earn a scholarship and hit at that level. So I had to go back in January. I did a camp. they offered me my scholarship. And I waited a little bit, waited about 2 months, went back to Clemson to make sure that that's not where I wanted to go. I went to a baseball game at Clemson and stayed for maybe 2 innings. And I told my mom, yeah, this is good. It's not really where I want to go. And waited till I saw the recruiting guy from Mizzou. He was a black guy, and wanted to see him face to face for taking a chance. And I committed in March of my junior year, and it all happened pretty fast, to be honest with you. It kind of got rolling, and then once it got rolling, I was committed.
Okay, cool. So, you brought up the fact that the Mizzou scout was black. Was that something that made you comfortable just to have that representation, someone that kind of could tell you what it was for us? Because it'll be different than having a white person trying to sell something like that to you, a big life changing decision, and to be able to take those things into consideration and make you feel comfortable.
Oh, 100%. I mean, my mom sending her baby away 11 hours made her feel a little bit better that, someone who looked like us, moved like us, was there to look out for me. And me and Coach Jackson, Carrick Jackson is his name. Me and Coach Jackson had a lot of conversations about, how the rules are different and how we have to be twice as good, things like that. So it was great. It was helpful. And there was also 2 or 3 black kids on the team, which always helped. At Clemson, there was only like one. A lot of other schools, there was always like 1 or 2.
Okay.
It was always helpful to have 3 or 4. And that's a big number in baseball.
Yeah, it is, especially in college baseball and the SEC. Where it's like it's the best of the best if you can stick around down there. So let's go over your first 2 years of playing ball at Clemson. You started out at second base, but you eventually moved to the outfield, right?
Yeah. So I started at. They wanted me to do something every fall, and then when it came down to it, I could hit. So there's a senior in my spot at second base, so they moved me over to left field. That was a adjustment, and I never played outfield until I played it in college, honestly. So it was an adjustment. It was a process for sure. And then I started learning how to hit, trying to play in the SEC all at the same time. So Mizzou was full of like a lot of adjustments really fast. To be able to play as a freshman, you have to adjust to where you stay. You got to have a good fall. You got to do all the little things right.
And you got to worry about school.
Yeah. You got to do all the things that, kind of, show them that you're mature enough to handle the level that you're at. And once you're able to do that, it kind of falls in place. So routine was huge, and it was a learning experience for sure.
Cool. So, what on your game did you really work on when you were at Mizzou? Besides the fielding and hitting, like what changed about your routines and things like that? I mean, and the way you looked at the game and you would watch the game from the
dugout. My first 2 years, I kind of just worked off ability. Growing up, I only had to hit once or twice a week, and I was still going to be able to hit better than everybody else.
Right.
When I got to college, that's not the case. These dudes are working way harder than you do. They're just as good. So, like, I was getting bodied my sophomore year, just getting beat up a little bit, just getting balls thrown past me, things like that. So junior year, I just decided to start hitting more. So I had a routine where I hit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I hit in the cage with my coach. No matter if I went 4 for 4 or 0 for 4, or I had the best weekend of my life or the worst weekend of my life, I was in there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that really changed my outlook on baseball. It's so game to game, week to week, day to day. So you have to treat it as such. So it doesn't really matter how you felt yesterday. It's really how you feel today and what you can get done. So I think my game evolved as I matured more in the game, and it's been exciting to do.
Yeah, so it seems like since you went up the levels and stuff, baseball has taught you a lot, and you're willing to learn a lot. So going to your senior year, I'm sure you were ready to build off your junior year, or you really tore it up in the SEC and kind of put the name on the map. And then I'm not really sure, how successful was the Mizzou program when you were there?
I mean, it all depends on what you define as success, because every year they had 6 or 7 guys get drafted, but we never went to a regional.
Right.
So
So I mean,
for
that's both. I mean, you got guys that's getting selected in the draft, and that's a good program regardless. But I mean, so that context you provided was really great there. So it's many people see college programs success as only competing in tournaments and stuff, and then people only see it as guys whether they're getting sent to the pros. But I mean, so that's a pretty successful program, I should say, if they're sending guys to the pros.
uh, for sure,
So
definitely
well,
got a lot of guys.
yeah. So what? I'm pretty sure were you expecting to get drafted after your junior season, or?
I was a little bit. I honestly wasn't. I didn't get a single call, and that was very tough on me. That summer was one of the toughest summers I've ever had. Just seeing people that you played against beat up on, they're living the dream that you want, and it was frustrating.
Yeah, I bet it was. Now that probably put a chip on your shoulder going to your senior year. And
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely hungry, ready to go, and I wanted to make it happen.
so the draft comes. I'm pretty sure you were sitting by your phone the whole time. You're in contact with scouts, obviously, and people were get in touch with you. Go through the whole process and the whole process of you not getting drafted until the 36th round of the 2018 MLB draft.
Yeah. So I was sitting at home, and my my college coach had told me that it should be rounds 10 through 20. So I was waiting on that. And as soon as the Braves kind of caught wind that someone else might be reaching out, they went and grabbed me. But it was a long process. My sister and my dad had just left to go get some food. They wanted to give me some alone time before the draft ended, and just get my mind right so that we could start talking about the next step, because I hadn't heard anything really. People were saying things, but at this point, you're getting passed up left and right. You start losing a little bit of hope. So,
Yeah.
but as soon as they left, probably like 5-10 minutes after they left, the Braves drafted me. So honestly, I got drafted alone in my house, chilling, because everybody was just giving me my space. But it was a long 2-3 days, probably, I mean, really long 2 days, honestly. Uh, I know that feeling for every player waiting for that draft call, and I had to wait a long time. So I definitely understand. It was cool though. Once you get that call, it almost doesn't matter. You're just excited. And then I signed the next day. Then the day after that, I was in Orlando getting ready to play. So it happens quick, and it's been fun so far.
Yeah, I know. In an earlier meeting I had with a different player, he just said many people just don't know about the stress of something you've been working towards like that, and how it can be so finicky with the possibilities of it happening. I know for you being in 36th round, just 4 rounds away from being not having your hopes and dreams come true or something. Um, I know that was
Yeah,
probably some. I know that was motivating for you, and just you're not going to forget that feeling just because of you being so close out of something you worked so hard towards not having.
yeah, but the sense of urgency is always there, because I felt what it's like to almost not have it. So I just try to take advantage every day I got of having it. So it's been a little bit up and down, but it's been fun the whole time.
Yeah. So let's go into your pro career that started in 2018 when they had you in the Gulf Coast League, and then you jumped up a couple of levels. I think your first 2 years, and then you had some momentum going into 2020, and then that just kind of evaporated when minor league baseball got canceled because of the pandemic. So just go through your whole pro career so far for me, like just break down everything.
Um, Start off in the GCL. The first month in the GCL was tough. It's been a long time since I had a full practice, and then play a game at 1 o'clock in front of nobody. That was a really hard adjustment, and
And it's
living in
professionals.
yeah, and you're living in a hotel, and the other outfitters you play with, they don't speak English. They're 16, 17 years old. You're 22. You're just trying to adjust and learn and figure it all out. So the first month there, I was struggling. My parents came down, and my dad and my mom pretty much just said, you just got to make it. It's what it is. You got to find a way to make it shake, find a way to get it done. And after that, I started hitting really, really well. Started really hitting balls good the last 2 months. And then Got moved up to Rome at the end of that year. Finished hitting about 280 there. And then first off season, didn't stop hitting the whole time, hit the entire time. I wanted to make my swing exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted to make my own adjustments. I wanted to do all the little things that I didn't do the year before. So I went into that year, started off slow, didn't do exactly what I wanted to do in the beginning during spring training. And I just had to make a decision just to be me. Whatever happens, as long as you're doing it your way, you'll have a chance. So decided to do that. Once the season started, I really, really probably had maybe a week or two where I didn't really feel too good in the beginning. And then after that, it took off. Hit about 370 in low A, moved up to high A for 1 month, hit 300 again, moved up to double A, hit 280 again. And just really just trying to ride the wave, just keep doing what I was doing, keep finding a way to get a barrel on ball and just keep working and things like that. So it has been a process. And then with Corona, I'm kind of glad it happened. I wasn't really where I wanted to be weight-wise. I was a little heavier, wasn't playing like I should. And it allowed me time to reset. So now my body's good, swing is better. So we're just trying to work through it now, beginning of the year stuff. So it feels good. It's been an up and down road. It has not been easy. It's been tough. It's been hard, but it's been worth it.
Yeah, you've been through a lot. Like, I mean, I feel like when people think of major leaguers, they kind of just think of the first round picks who kind of fly to the minors. Or I mean, even them. People reading on people. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is to make it to the pros and then try and make it to the majors. Like playing minor league baseball is a feat in itself. And I mean, a lot of these double A and triple A teams are probably as good as some pro teams in other countries, you know, when you really think about it for real. And
yeah, they say double A is the hardest level to hit at because you're playing everybody's best of the best, and this is where they send everybody. So we definitely get to see them.
Yeah, I know that jump was probably ridiculous, and even going from low A to high A, I bet there's probably some noticeable difference in how guys.
Honestly, I thoroughly think every jump has its own challenge because you're just like, it's so new. You go from playing on a team, living somewhere, and then at 9:30 at night they tell you you're going to a whole new place. So your flight's probably at 6 in the morning, and you probably get to the new place at 1.
Then you got to play that night.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think
then you got those bus. Then you got those 12-hour bus rides and stuff from place to place, and
yep, you got to find a place to live in a new place when you just found out one in the old one. So it's
So my bad. I didn't mean to keep interrupting you. My fault.
Oh no, you're good. No worries.
So I kind of want to go over what it's like, what minor league life is like, and how is the Braves organization like supporting you guys with info, data, as far as living and things like that. How involved are they in kind of you guys?
We definitely
off the field and on the field.
On the field, we definitely are more of we shift a lot. We do our cards. We know where the hitters are. We're big on scouting reports. They give us a lot of numbers on that stuff. And then off the field, they give us every resource possible, honestly, that we need. They try to do their part in helping us with living. It's tough. Everyone's on a budget. It all depends on what the budget is. But they definitely put the resources out there and allow us to, figure out what we want to do on our own. They give us options is probably the best way to put it. And the Braves just do a really good job. We have a really good organization. We got a lot of really good people. I could actually say there's not too many bad people in this organization, people that I can't stand to be around. There's maybe one, and it's that's hard to find in an organization. So I thoroughly enjoy playing for the Braves, and it's been a blessing.
Okay, so let's talk about your game. Righty on righty hitter. You like to make contact. You seem something you're good at doing. You got good hands. Got pretty good on base skills. you got some power as well. You know how to drive the ball. So just kind of talk about your game a little bit. What do you like to do? What do you want to improve also?
I just like my whole game is to apply pressure every time. If you give me a stolen base, like if you want to be slow to the plate, I'll take it. If you want to give me a double, I'll take it. If you just want to give me a single on the right side, I'll take it. I just try to apply pressure and take what the game gives me. For the most part, I try not to do too much. I just try to play hard every single day. If I'm not dirty, if I'm not diving, if I'm not, doing what I'm supposed to, I hope that my teammates say that Trey's not being Trey because I want to be known for playing hard. Playing hard and making sure I do all the little things like backing up runners, making sure I'm in the right spot, stuff like that. I just really try to focus on doing the little things because the big things will work itself out. My average will be what it is, but if I'm adding benefit to the game in other ways, that might keep me around just a little bit longer. And that's the whole goal. Stay around as long as you can.
Yeah, make them rip the jersey off your back.
Exactly.
So, going into this season, a lot of guys are rusty. Just after that big 18 months period in between playing. I'm sure it's kind of hard to when you're so hard on yourself on a day-to-day basis and trying to be better and staying competitive, staying as competitive as you can. What has it been like balancing that and just to take that deep breath and think, okay, I mean, I still got 120 more games to go. I still got a long time, to not worry. I feel like in anything, we care about and we know we're not going up to standards that we hold ourselves to. We can just kind of have that worry in the back of our heads, of trying to get it together to get that chance to do
For
better.
sure, trying to find that fine line between being good or being great and perfection and what are you chasing. You just kind of got to understand what's possible, what's attainable, what's reality. I think I messed up earlier in the year. I was hitting good, and I wasn't really grateful for it. I was always trying to look for more. I think you just got to take what they give you, take what is around you, take what they, what's out there. You can't try to do too much. So I think that's the biggest thing is just understanding that you have to, enjoy the process, enjoy the game to game, the at bat to at bat, the pitch to pitch battle that you have to go through all the time. So it's been up and down, but it's fun. That's what makes it so fun.
Yeah, baseball being a game of failure and you get in those moments where you have success 20-30% of the time. I'm sure that's just very rewarding to have. Were you a big baseball fan growing up?
Yeah, actually I was. Me and my dad are really big on just sitting down watching, and I talk through, everything that we see. That's why I think I have a good baseball IQ when it comes to on the field. My dad made sure I tried to know as much as I could by just watching over and over again.
Okay. What was your favorite team growing up?
It was probably the Yankees because they hit a lot of home runs. Back then, the Braves were pitching their lives away, so I wasn't really trying to see 18 Ks. So I would just watch dudes hit home runs. That was way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I assumed you're a Braves fan because you kind of grew up in Alabama and Georgia, but that makes sense. And the Yankees are the Yankees; they always win and got
exactly.
So favorite player growing up was probably Jeter
or. My favorite player would have to back then had to be like, I don't know. Now it's like it's so different. You have a new understanding. But back then, Andrew McCutchen was one of my people, and Jimmy Rollins. They were so cool to look at play and just dominate the game at a high level. It was dope.
Catching Jimmy were nice when we were growing up.
Yeah. It's been a blessing, and it was cool. It's just like getting the firsthand experience and firsthand experience and seeing those guys play all the time was really cool. And like when you really start getting better as a player, and then you start seeing yourself get closer, it was cool.
Yeah, the one day you could say you could be their peers. You might be playing when Kutch is playing. That I know that's something you look. That's a very real possibility for you right now. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what I'm aiming for is hopefully to make it shake like that.
Okay. That's what's up. So, one last question I have before I get off with you. If you had to give a scout report on yourself, what would it be?
Find a way to make him start thinking, because if you just let him play, he's going to kill you. So pretty much you're going to have to switch it up a lot. You won't be able to do a lot of things twice. So just keep me guessing, keep me on my toes is the best way you're going to do it, because I'm a thinker, so I'm going to try to think through every at bat. And if I find a trend that you're doing every single time, it'll help me out a lot. So you better switch it up. So I would say I'm never an easy out, but if you want to try to get me out, you're going to have to do something different every single time.
All right, for sure.